so much the future as certitude following years of cloud, from coffee to borrowed hand or caught morphing from transcendence into some sex-heavy particle magnet. We couldn't remember our own faces, which stared back at us from the ocelot's open mouth. It was the night we crashed our dream into the strawberry. I called you a sword of light because you swung. Already less here, tailing days, purple arc from the jungle's porous buzz gone suddenly fallout chorus. I keep borrowing your hand. We get paid to stay curious. The mountain is like love is like a mountain. It won't be said differently, for great metaphors refuse the diminishment of explanation. The boat, the opera, the reason we can't answer telephones, even if all we want is to know the color of our own eyes. It's the river that decides. We get paid to stay curious. The second one is the Coals. So it's kind of like a weird, strangely conservative project, because each title is thus something. And it's kind of the difficulty of kind of pointing out something that's really obvious or that's already there and trying to get people to see it anew or reawaken, sing it back into existence. So this is the Coals for Jeffrey G. O'Brien. Coming to mean what's more for saying the wrong part was ours, or part of what we are seeking after in a flower's slow nod across the sky, and follow as if our own eye were a perch for sex to be mined and left darker for patience of bloom. Only sun outshines thought with its sodden flu. We're always plugging wrong parts into right fever, called song, where breath chokes, closed in perfume for love of folds. We are all newspapers to hold the one desired and smudge even the clearest parts when the thick net that protects my heart is called pericardium by Greeks and by doctors. The way these sold flowers follow only putrefaction, and like coals shed levitating fever against solidity, dead red this coiled rose like a monk seated in his darkest and ironed red robe. I know you are leaving this country, but I know this country is leaving this country. The second poem for Mary is called The Night. This eddy the body becomes in sleep, lifts each cherry blossom from the sheet to lodge there singly in the eyes, drooling mass, or past it if possible, to what clueless stars mar skies otherwise perfect and black-strewn answer. For what is you except what escapes patience of thought, to swirl like offal in a soft backwater of the body we know not nearly enough. So here's how one's lone splinters into boughs of long common branches, so that vascular swell could take one bell's breath into toll against the next, pine-furred and sap-heavy tongue. For there is no other answer beyond the night's black canter to keep heart's leaf a hoof. And if we pool these coiled green limbs where the body's eddy steadily unravels, we're sure to thread enough for nest, enough for saddle. The fourth poem is called The Low, and it's for Ben Lerner. You will understand what kind of low that is. For turning fortune on its cornflower ear, the timpani sounds better if on horseback. I mean, every rider is the instrument of war, or at least its thrum, to clop over earth's volcanic drum. I mean, what enters the left will by convulsion hazard out, as dutifully the ear furls sense into disfigured braids, and we are plural also in eyes blurry morning heard, lowing over our prizes, those given freely where fortune is, nothing but what grows I make my low in the hope it uproots a green braid or bundle to tongue at hole's starry cleft. Our herd is rich in prizes. We lick alliance into glisten where we find it trampled. Everyone knows that clothes strangle the body's bloom, whose nudity otherwise festoons the earth with prizes. Love thus proceeds in dignity to crash forth its unfolding golden low and find sudden buds crowding out vacuum in drone. The final hymn that I'll read is called The Wife. This is also for Mary Austin Speaker, fittingly. The bus's hand becomes my roaring wife is one way to say I love whatever's new. We grow whatever's not covered in snow is called late for work. Little piles of it sleeping in each of the trees' several crotches while wind busies the tips I would not call fingers. My roaring wife becomes a river in them. So certainly ourselves are as diverse as world, bearing relation through having none, bears it handsomely, is why my wife is newer still, where dawn beams that braided our dream ceiling still fall over the jet of my roaring wife, who keeps sentry in the bedroom, sky litters with white pillows we wake and call clouds as dithering sounds flirt from grace to frown. We would taste and go feathers for want of uproar. My wife's pleasure is not stopping. And finally, I would like everyone to bring Mary back out and congratulate her on her final night, leading the charge that is Triptych. Okay, so we are going to do a rap together.
This is what happens. This is what happens.
I've been working in the vein of choral rap for some time now. I may be the only practitioner of choral rap. And I keep on... Yeah, you won't even switch so you're close to the mic. Why don't you be more in the mic as you got to softer this. And so yeah, I've been writing a lot of raps that stack, for lack of a better term for it. It's like they're almost like modular raps that get stacked in different ways. So you could stack them differently. We're going to stack them one way tonight and see how that goes. The first time this one will have been performed. And it's all, I should say, it's all lines from Becoming Weather. So it's a cut-up of Becoming Weather as rap to be stacked and performed right now. Sure, I was a molecule accumulating talk, hot, fraught, and mock gossip as the war nods off. Punch, light, litter, train, counterfeit, God. Sure, I was a molecule accumulating talk. Sure, I was a molecule accumulating talk, hot, fraught, and mock gossip as the war nods off. Punch, light, litter, train, counterfeit, God. Sure, I was a molecule accumulating talk.
Real as a hamburger body in a blur by night. Everybody feels the middle gets sure. Neptune tatter at a braid's black curve. Real as a hamburger body in a blur. Real as a hamburger body in a blur by night. Everybody feels the middle gets sure. Neptune tatter at a braid's black curve. Real as a hamburger body in a blur.
Punctuating sky, I sneeze a little sun. My birds turn marathon arena goes gun. Cry like a woodpecker weather on my thumb. Punctuating sky, I sneeze a little sun. Punctuating sky, I sneeze a little sun. My birds turn marathon arena goes gun. Cry like a woodpecker weather on my thumb. Punctuating sky, I sneeze a little sun.
Radiating energy, the trees get dressed. All the rappers say it's like that legendary flesh. Death is a question, we answer every breath. Radiating energy, the trees get dressed. Radiating energy, the trees get dressed. All the rappers say it's like that legendary flesh. Death is a question, we answer every breath. Radiating energy, the trees get dressed.
Sure, I was a molecule accumulating talk, caught, fraught, and mock gossip as the war nods off. Punch, light, litter, train, counterfeit, God. Sure, I was a molecule accumulating talk. Sure, I
Real
was
as a
a molecule
hamburger body in
accumulating
a blur
talk.
by
Hot,
night.
rotten, mock,
Everybody
gossip
feels
is
the
the
middle
war,
gets
not
sure.
off. Punch,
Neptune
light, litter,
tatter
train,
at a
counterfeit,
black
God.
curve.
Sure,
Real
I was
as
a
a
molecule
hamburger body in a
accumulating
blur.
talk.
Real
Punctuating
as a
sky,
man,
I
her
sneeze a
body in
little
a blur
sun,
by
my
night.
birds turn,
Everybody
every
feels the
thumb,
middle
arena
gets
goes
sure.
gun. Cry like a
Neptune tatter at
woodpecker,
a
weather
braids
on my
black
thumb.
curve. Real as
Punctuating
a
sky, I
hamburger
sneeze a
body in
little
a
sun.
blur.
Punctuating
Radiating
sky,
energy,
I
the
sneeze a
trees
little
get
sun.
dressed, all the
My
rappers
birds
say
turn,
it's
every
like
thumb,
that
arena
legendary
goes gun.
flush.
Cry
Death
like
is a
a
question we
woodpecker,
answer
weather on
every
my
breath.
thumb. Punctuating
Radiating
sky, I
energy, the
sneeze
trees
a little
get
sun.
dressed.
Sure, I was a
Radiating energy,
molecule
the trees
accumulating
get
talk,
dressed.
cock,
All
rotten, mock,
rappers say
gossip
it's
is
the
the war,
legendary
not
flush.
all.
Death
Punch,
is a
light, litter,
question
train,
we answer every
counterfeit, God.
breath.
Sure, I was a
Radiating energy,
molecule
the trees
accumulating
get
talk.
dressed.